and her name is none other than Faith Thompson. But before we start talking to her, we're gonna play her track, and then we're gonna come back and have a little chat. Here is Faith Thompson, All in All, right here on the Praise Life Morning Show. Faith Thompson, composer, lyricist, arranger, musician, and vocalist. Faith Thompson is a recent arrival on the contemporary Christian music scene. Born in Ottawa to a prominent musical family, she began singing at school and in church at age 12. Now, I got to ask this one question. When you say prominent musical family, what does that mean?
Well, I mean, thanks for having me, Brother Clairmont. Well, my entire family is musical. My father was started out as the associate pastor and music director at Emmanuel Church, one of the first Black churches in Canada to have an album.
Wow, that's interesting.
One of the first to have a choir album in the 70s, I think. And from there, you have, the amazing Emmanuel Youth Choir that so many people got to know, came down to Toronto, which spawned Witness a Blessing, WAB Ministries. That was led by, my sister, and also actually founded by her husband, actually,
which
Brian. And
wait, hold on, back up, rewind. WAB is started by whom again?
Well, I mean, the founder was, it was for Anita Bryan and Colin Bryan, and my sister was the director, who is Karen Bryan. And Carlton Griffiths, most people, many
so
people
your
know him as well.
Your sister's who again? Sorry?
Karen Bryan.
Karen Bryan. That is Collins Bryan's sister?
Yeah. Wife.
Okay.
And then wife.
Oh, wait. You recognize I know these people?
Yes, I know you know these people. That's why I'm smiling.
Wow, this is an extremely small world. Wow.
Yeah.
So
this is. I have more for you.
Okay, give me some more. Give me some more.
Let me do some more name dropping.
Okay.
So then you have one of the best, one of the earliest best organists in the city. Richard Wilson is my brother. And
wait, hold on. Richard Wilson, the Richard Wilson?
The one and only Richard Wilson is my brother.
My buddy.
Incredible.
Yes, my buddy.
Yes.
Wow. He played on my first album, my one and only album. He played on my album back in the day, 96, I think it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Were you?
Brother.
Wow! I got a text and said I spoke to your sister today. Now, do you? Were you at the WAB recording in Toronto on Dufferin Street?
I was at the one on Dufferin Street or St. Clair. Is it St.
No,
Clair
it was Dufferin Street below St. Clair. I was there. I remember that. I was there.
Well, I was with WAB for many years. So
yes, because I was in the church.
I was there.
Yeah. You were at WAB too. Wow. This is, man.
I was in WAB. I was very young at the time.
You're throwing me way back, because I remember it was on Dufferin Street. I think it was a Baptist church that you guys were doing the recording in.
Is it? Okay, so I don't remember. To be honest, there's so many WAB. We did more than one recording. So there was more than one recording, and then there were releases. There was a lot of music that came out of WAB. They were just powerful, and wherever they went, you knew church was gonna follow. Yeah. You knew you were gonna have church.
Yeah, Anita Bryan and WAB.
Anita Bryan
and WAB.
My sister-in-law.
Yeah. So Rose, Rosemary and all the whole.
Oh my gosh, yes, Rose, Rose Bryan, my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of music. Well, I would say Richard and Karen, and then you have Sharon Gordon as well, who is the strong songstress, psalmist extraordinaire.
So then you would know, let me throw some stuff in. So then you would know Courtney Williams,
yes,
CIUT.
Absolutely.
So
actually, I was just with CIUT on Sunday.
Yeah. So you knew me from back then.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But the thing is about it, when I was in those days, I was the little sister that nobody really knew.
I get it. Because I was with CIUT for 16 years, and then I left after we started Canada's first gospel internet radio station. We are the first 21 years ago. When I
Mm-hmm.
started, everybody was saying that's not going to go anywhere. Who's going to listen to that? Little old ladies. Well, those little old ladies are listening right now.
That's right. That's right. And I listen. Actually, I listen too. When I'm driving to work, I usually love to listen to my Scribe, especially my Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, get my something in my hands. I love my Scribe in the morning. So I totally am one of those little old ladies apparently.
Well, listen, man, this is such good news to hear what's been going on from all these years. So now you finally decide to step aside from the family and do your own thing. Is that what this
Yes.
is?
Well, I mean, I've always been a songwriter, but about 6 or 7 years ago, I was in a rehearsal at my church then, Global Kingdom Ministries, and this really amazing prophetess came up to me, and she just touched me on my stomach, and she said, "You're pregnant. It's time to give birth." And from that moment, I've just been, music has just been coming out of me, so much
Mm-hmm.
music. And I mean, obviously, not all of the music that I produce I can actually sing, but there is some music that I have found is very personal to me, and all in all is one of those. There's so many others that I would definitely like to sing because I feel like God has led me in that direction to have music to share with people, to encourage people, to uplift people, and so that's why I'm kind of out on my sort of my own. Although I have so much support from my family, they're so supportive, and they're like, "So Faith, when are we going? What's the tickets? Where are my tickets?" You know what I mean? Like they're ready to go, and I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." So they're on top, they're supportive. So even though it's the little sister at this moment,
Mm-hmm.
um, they are very, very, very much in my corner.
Well, I am so happy to meet the little sister finally, because I never knew there was the little sister. Because I remember when Richard came, Richard was known as
Mhm.
the organist of Toronto back in the
The
day. The organist.
Please say that louder. Please
Yeah,
say
yeah,
that
yeah.
louder.
No,
Stand up
no,
to
for
Richard.
real, for real. He was known
That's
as the
absolutely.
organist back in the day. I haven't seen Richard in probably 2 years, 2.5 years. But he touched base with me sometime last year, actually. We pop into each other and send a text out or a shout out, see how you're doing, this kind of stuff. But it's good to see that you're actually doing something, little sister. So, what was the reason for this song, all in all? By the way, um, you might remember this. Back in the day, I sang a lot of the songs that were considered "quote unquote" white.
Yes. Yes. I do
Right?
remember that. I
"Quote
remember that.
unquote"
And
white.
you had the cowboy hat. Yep.
No, that was me. That was Thompson. I didn't use a cowboy. That was Thompson.
Oh, but
Thompson's.
you were more on the CCM side. I
Yes.
remember your music was very much more neutral.
I
I would
was
say
the
neutral, not so much CCM.
I was more of the Sandy Patty style, Lorna Harris style, those
Yes.
kind of things that I would think, right? And back then, it was looked upon like, bro, you're black. Why are you singing these kind of songs? You should be singing black songs.
Uh,
And
that hasn't really changed.
well, you know what though? It has changed in the sense of now you're finding that black artists are now saying, "Hey, it's music. Let's do it." So when I listen to your stuff, what genre would you say that fits into?
Well, I'm very eclectic in my musical style,
Mm-hmm.
but typically I would more so fit into the traditional gospel realm. So I'm probably going to be more like country and classical, like country and jazz, and very traditional gospel.
Mm-hmm.
That's most likely where I'm going
'Cause
to be.
this sounds like
You
a
won't hear
country.
me
This sounds like a
rapping.
country thing to me. This sounds like a country slash.
It is.
It is right. So I was just wondering.
It definitely.
So when I first heard it, I had to find a face, right? I'm like, oh, a sister singing country, and she did justice to it too. I love it. You kind of remind me. You probably know of her, Liberty Silver. I'm dropping a name right now.
I've heard the name, but I actually don't know the person.
Liberty Silver and
Hmm.
Jackie Richardson were all back in the day. They were pretty much well known as the Canadian pop artists. They did all kinds of stuff. And when I heard them, like, Is that Liberty Silver? No, that's not Liberty Silver. This is gospel. So because Liberty don't do
Well, I'm
gospel,
honored.
right? So I kind of checked it out. I'm like, oh, and I was like, wow, this is nice to see. So are we gonna? So when you write this song, you're writing it with a country feel.
Well, okay, so it came to me with a country feel,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to be honest about the song, right? So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I could have turned it into a church song,
Mm-hmm.
but when God gives me music, I try very hard to stay very honest and close to what it is.
Right.
And I know that it may not be kind of the popular thing to do, but I literally had to learn to sing this song because when God was singing it over me and I could hear it and I was just writing it out, I didn't quite know the cadence of how I should sing it. I actually had to learn to sing this song. And it was just me just trying to be honest to what God gave me in my music. And I do try to be very honest. And that's the reason why I write various different genres of music.
Mm-hmm.
I write choir music, I write classical music, I write jazz music, I write all different types of music because when God gives me a song, and especially when he takes the time to sing it over me, like all in all, was an experience, was an amazing experience. I don't know if you've ever heard the testimony of it, but God was singing it over me, and I literally just had to write it down. You
Wow.
know, so when you have an experience like that, you
Mm-hmm.
can't take the song and do something with it that it just doesn't, you know, that it just doesn't belong to. But I really felt strongly that so many people needed to hear this song, that he is everything, and that, you know what, sometimes there will be waves, sometimes the sun won't shine, but those waves will never overtake you because God has the final say. And just so many people have, so many testimonies have come to me about how that song really ministered to them. So I'm not too offended when people think I'm a country singer. It's not the only thing I sing, but I am very, very honored that I kept the song in a manner that was able to minister to so many people.
Well, there's nothing wrong doing country from the black side. Remember that, what's his name?
No, we can do anything.
You know what I'm
Yeah, but
saying?
I'm not just a country singer. I have no trouble with country. I actually love country, but it's just I'm not like I'm not always only going to sing
Yeah.
country. This is just unfortunate. I don't want to lead anybody astray, but I'm definitely very traditional gospel. I'll probably always be in that Gaither area, um, because that's my style, and my style is very traditional, and also a little bit jazz.
So let's go now to how many siblings do you have?
Oh Lord, four siblings.
Four siblings, and you all are
Yeah,
musicians.
all are musically connected.
Okay.
So you have Paul Wilson, who I didn't drop,
Mm-hmm.
who's also the head of the Academy Gospel Choir. Like, so he's in Ottawa. The Academy Choir is a very prestigious choir. When Prince Charles came, the Academy Choir sang for him. Diana Ross. They backed up some of the big gospel greats, some of the big names in Ottawa. So he is he is his own level of amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then you have Richard, who needs no introduction. Sharon, who is psalmist extraordinaire, who is, now, 20, 24 going on 25. And, and Karen, who is still like, when it comes to praise and worship and ushering you into the presence of God, Karen is incredible. So having all that around me, like we grew up singing. Well, they grew up singing and I grew up watching. And so I really appreciate the rich heritage
Mm-hmm.
that is in the family.
What's next for you? Because I think I read it says you're
Yeah.
working on your album, or is it
Yes.
finished?
So another I keep taking the road less traveled by. So everyone's doing singles. What do
Mm-hmm.
I do? No, I want to go do a whole album. So I'm doing a live recording, which is also rare, a live recording for my album, and that is on March 19th. And people can access tickets for that live recording on my website, which is Faith Thompson Sings. And tickets are going really fast. Capacity is limited. So People should just go out and grab your tickets now, because there's something in there. There's going to be something in that night for you. I guarantee you, you're going to leave singing the songs. You're going to leave feeling better, um, feeling lighter, feeling like, God was there. So I'm actually really, really excited about it. I feel like God is in the midst, that it's going to be a great event.
Uh, in the midst of all of this chaotic season that we're in right now, right? How do you find it? Like, okay, God, what's the use? Churches are locked down. We can't do much. Why are you giving me this kind of music to come out now in a season when who's gonna listen? People are getting tired of being online. People want to be back in embodiment of seeing each other. How do you put all this together and say, you know what, I'm still gonna shut all this out and do what God has called me to do?
It's challenging, but God has been so good to me. I spent most of 2020 being pretty ill. I had really what amounted to a very severe food allergy,
Wow.
which showed itself in eczema, very
Mm.
severe eczema over about 60 to 70% of my body, which is unusual. Dermatologists were like, I'm sorry, we can't help you anymore. Go find a beach somewhere. And it was in the midst of that. And my father passed away in the midst of that, but it was in the midst of those moments where God gave me a lot of this music. And it really ministered to me. And it's like, go tell it. Go and tell it. I know that it's not what everyone else is doing. It's a live recording where we're going to be in person, but capacity is limited. But go and tell it. Somebody needs to hear it. And it is challenging, kind of going against the grain, but I believe God is with me. I absolutely feel that push, like the wind at my back, and that's what keeps me going. Knowing that He's with me.
Wow. So now that the contest is coming up in March 19th,
19th
March
at
19th.
EKM Ministries. Yeah,
EKM. That's
yeah. Ecclesia
Pastor
Ministries.
Carlton, right? No, Pastor Calvin. No.
Yes, Pastor Calvin Chambers. That's where it is. Actually, that's my home church at the moment.
Wow.
Not at the moment, but
Another
that's
another
my home
another
church.
brother that I know, Calvin. I remember when he was just another keyboard player too, and then when I
Ooh, he's
heard he
not that
became a
anymore.
when I heard he became a pastor, I said, "What? Everybody's climbing higher and higher," which is awesome. Man, I'm old. I know too many people.
You know what? I get that impression all the time. I'm like, wow, I must really be aging. You
Hmm.
know, all these people who were my age, their kids are now coming up and they're doing great things. So it's like, whoa, what am I doing? But even though you were old, look, remember Sarah had her baby at 99. So at the end of the day, age is nothing but a number.
So you're trying to say to me that I can still have this birth going on, right?
Yes, yes. Whenever you're ready to do something, I
Right.
am there to write for you.
Oh, now you know you shouldn't say that, right? Because I'm gonna call you.
Oh my God.
All right,
I
I'm
am
gonna
not
call you. I'm
afraid.
gonna call you. I'm gonna call
Call me.
you. Now, listen. Now that you finished this album, and you finished the album, I'm correct, or it's going to be recording
Well,
then?
it's going to be recorded then,
Then, okay,
and then we're going to release it later, probably in the summer.
in the summer. Okay, perfect. So, what's next on your plate apart from the
Oh my
album?
gosh. Well,
Because I know the
I've
musical family, they don't
already.
stick at one thing; they do many things. So, what's next on the plate?
Well, after my live recording on March 19th, I've already started, because I'm the worship pastor at Ecclesia Ministries.
Mm-hmm.
I've already started writing for their music.
Mm-hmm.
They have music coming out either late 2022 or early 2023. So I've already started writing music for them. God has just been sending me a lot of really powerful music, and we have some powerful writers in that church. And so that is the next thing on the plate. Um, I always wanted to do a little bit of a Christmas album. I
Okay,
have a lot of Christmas music, a little bit of an elf. Just
right.
pray for me. So, but definitely Ecclesia right after this album goes out and we release it and we get, past this, Ecclesia Kingdom Ministries EKM's music is going to be next on my agenda.
Okay.
And I'm always open to writing for people around the city because I write a wide range of music. I would consider myself a songwriter first. I happen to sing, but I'm a songwriter first, maybe second a praise and worship leader, but definitely a songwriter first.
Wow. Listen, man, I want to thank you for the time and sharing with us. I happened to meet the little sister of Richard Wilson, the man, the organist of Toronto.
The organist of
Toronto. I haven't heard him play it in a while. The thing that used to amaze me about Richard is how he tickled the ivories when he's playing, especially the organist when he started on the organ. And there's a song that he played on WAB, because he played on WAB too. And and I can't remember it now. There was a piece there that he played. I remember him playing it. And when it came within the album, I looked for it to see if it's there, and I can't really tell you what song it is right now. But if I scroll through the list, I'll find it. I'll find that piece, But it's good to see that his little sister's here doing something awesome. We're gonna close this interview with your video. Tell us a little bit about the video, though.
Oh my gosh, the video. Yeah, right in the middle of COVID, but God really moved in that video. It was such a great experience. Produced, shot by Stone Media, but completely produced by All Things Media. And believe it or not, shot in Canada, in the greater Toronto area. So it's a lot of fun. We're out there legitimately having a lot of fun. It's not just for show. And the people in that video are just some people I love, and God has just brought those people into my life and just really blessed me with those people. And so I feel like all that love comes through the video, and just having God with us and his presence with us, it's the cherry on top.
Amen. Well, listen, man, I want to thank you again for doing what you do, and let's see if we can get this video going.
Oh, one more thing. I just want to remind everybody that you can see a lot of things that we've been doing on YouTube at Faith Thompson Sings on YouTube. There is a website as well, faiththompsonsings.com, right? So we're trying to keep it simple. There's also an Instagram, the official Faith Sings, official Faith_Sings. Then you have Faith Sings on Facebook. Plus you always have my own individual Faith P Thompson, Faith PT actually on Instagram, and Faith Wilson Thompson on Facebook, where you can always get more information. And tickets for the March 19th event are going fast, so you want to make sure you grab your tickets on the website.
Thank you for giving us that information. For those that listen on the radio and want to know where you can actually see this interview, go to Streaming Praise Radio YouTube, and you'll see the interview right there at this point in time. Here is All in All by Faith Thompson.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Sun goes down each day. Sometimes you'll have waves, but those waves will never overtake you because God has the final say. Oh, everything is found in you. Oh, you make my gray skies blue. When those nightmares they come, it's all good, 'cause I will still have you. All in all, all in yes, you are my own. One more time. Oh, all in all in you are my own. Hey, you're everything to me, everything to me, everything to me, everything to me. You're the air that I breathe, air that I breathe. You're the song that I sing, the song that I sing. Oh, babe, you are everything to me, everything to me, everything to me. The air that I breathe, yeah, air that I breathe. You're the song that I sing, the song that I sing. Oh, you are my own and all. You are my all and all. Last time, you are my all and all. All in all, yeah.
livefm.com. We would like you to follow us on Streaming Praise Radio on our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook, streamingpraiseradio.com. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, sprlivefm.com. Thank you so much for following us, liking us, and subscribing